BBC Online is the brand name and home for the BBC's UK online service. It is a large network of websites including such high-profile sites as BBC News and Sport, the on-demand video and radio services co-branded BBC Player, the preschool sites CBeebies, and learning services such as Bitesize. The BBC has had an online presence supporting its TV and radio programs and web-only initiatives since 1994 but did not launch officially until December 1997, following government approval to fund it by TV license fee revenue as a service in its own right. Throughout its short history, the online plans of the BBC have been subject to harassment from its commercial rivals, which has resulted in various public consultations and government reviews to investigate their claims that its large presence and public funding distorts the UK market. The website has gone through several branding changes since it was launched. Originally named BBC Online, it was then rebranded as BBCi before being named bbc.co.uk. It was then branded BBC Online again in 2008. The web-based service of the BBC is one of the most visited websites and the world's largest news website. As of 2007, it contained over 2 million pages. On the 26th of February 2010, The Times claimed that Mark Thompson, then Director General of the BBC, proposed that the BBC's web output should be cut by 50%. With online staff numbers and budgets reduced by 25% in a bid to scale back BBC operations and allow commercial rivals more room. On the 2nd of March 2010, the BBC reported that it will cut its website spending by 25% and close BBC Six Music and Asia network. On the 24th of January 2011, the confirmed cuts of 25% were announced, leaving a £34 million shortfall. This resulted in the closure of several sites, including BBC Switch, BBC Blast, 606, and the announcement of plans to sell on the Douglas Adams-created site H2G2. History. BBC Networking Club. The service's original home was www.bbcnc.org.uk, launched by BBC Education on the 11th of May 1994 as a non-profit paid subscription service. For a joining fee of £25 and a monthly subscription of £12. Members of the club were given access to an early type of social networking site featuring a bulletin board for sharing information and real-time conversation, along with a dial-up internet connection service. Within 12 months, the BBC offered online discussion groups, web pages for select web-related programs and BBC departments, free web pages for associate members, and an internet connection service. www.bbc.co.uk was introduced in 1996, though the old address also remained active for some time afterwards. BBC Online and Beeb.com. The BBC Director General John Burt sought government approval to direct licence fee revenue into the service, describing planned BBC Internet services as the third medium, joining the BBC's existing TV and radio networks, achieving a change in the BBC Charter. This led to the official launch of BBC Online at the www.bbc.co.uk address in December 1997, as well as the license fee-funded www.bbc.co.uk. BBC Worldwide launched the commercially funded Beeb.com, featuring mostly entertainment-focused content, with sites including Radio Times, Top Gear and Top of the Pops. Later, BBC Online launched license fee-funded websites for Top of the Pops and Top Gear, resulting in some duplication. Beeb.com was later refocused as an online shopping guide, and was closed in 2002. Beeb.com now redirects to the BBC Shop website, run by BBC Worldwide. In 1999, the BBC bought the www.bbc.com domain name for $375,000, previously owned by Boston Business Computing. But the price of this purchase was not revealed until 6 years later. As of 2005, www.bbcnc.org.uk no longer exists. BBCI in 2001, BBC Online was rebranded as BBCI. The website launched on the 7th of November 2001. The BBCI name was conceived as an umbrella brand for all the BBC's digital interactive services across web, digital teletext, interactive TV and on mobile platforms. The use of letter I, prefixes and suffixes to denote information technology or interactivity was very much in vogue at this time. According to the BBC, the I in BBCI stood for interactivity, as well as innovation. Categories: TV, radio, communicate, where I live, AZ Index and a search. The navbar was designed to offer a similar navigation system to the I-bar on BBC I interactive television. BBC.co.uk and the return of BBC Online after 3 years of consistent use across different platforms. The BBC began to drop the BBCI brand gradually. On the 6th of May 2004, the BBC website was renamed bbc.co.uk, after the main URL used to access the site. Interactive TV services continued under the BBCI brand until it was dropped completely in 2008. The BBC's online video player, the iPlayer has, however, retained an I prefix in its branding. On the 14th of December 2007, a beta version of a new bbc.co.uk homepage was launched, with the ability to customize the page by adding, removing and rearranging different categories, such as news, weather, and entertainment. The widget-based design was inspired by sites such as Facebook and iGoogle, and allowed the BBC to add new content to the homepage while still retaining users' customizations. The new homepage also incorporated the clock design used in the 1970s on the BBC's television service into the large header and a box containing featured content of the website. The new BBC homepage left beta on Wednesday, the 27th of February 2008, to serve as the new BBC homepage under the same URL as the previous version. On the 30th of January 2010, a new webpage design became available as a beta version, that by May 2010, replaced the old homepage. This homepage expanded on the module's idea and the customization theme. The website allowed certain themes that interested the viewer to be tracked via a new module. It also included a new media zone, where featured content could be displayed, with this new featured box being located across the entire top of the web page, below the header. The media zone was also changed so that the content changed by running the mouse over the tabs. The header was again changed to include the headings of the major sections of the website, these being home, news, sport, weather, iPlayer, TV, radio and more, spread out evenly across the header. This new header was included across the entire website. Despite the cosmetic appearance of the relaunch, the new website was actually relaunched using a completely different operating system, allowing the site's 4 different international versions to be changed and altered easier. It also brought their website layouts and operations closer to that of the main website. Following the launch of the new BBC News website, which altered the header bar on that site, in October 2010, the new style of header was launched across the whole website, starting off with some of the larger, yet not obvious, sites, such as Doctor Who, first before relaunching all of the sites, including the homepage with the new look. This new style of header included the headings as before, but with the search box redesigned and aligned right. as with the links which are significantly smaller. Other links, such as BBC Ad login and mobile versions of the website, also appear on the header, just to the right of the smaller BBC logo. On the 21st of September 2011, a new BBC homepage went into beta testing that was drastically different from those before it. The new homepage was based on feedback that stated that the current page was too narrow in focus and not distinctive enough, with the homepage not displaying the full extent of the BBC online site, and that some didn't realize it was the homepage. As a result, they launched a new version that featured as a centerpiece a revolving carousel of content on the BBC online website, with filters beneath to restrict it to, and to show more of entertainment, lifestyle, knowledge and news and sports topics. At the top of the page, a new header has been inserted giving the date, the time through the use of the vintage BBC clock, as well as weather prospects for the next 3 days through the use of the traditional weather symbols. Below the carousel, boxes contain links to the most popular video material, web articles and pages on the site, as well as TV and radio listings alongside an AZ list of the BBC's top-level domains. This new site replaced the previous one on the 30th of November 2011. In a blog post from the same day, James Thornett explained the changes, while the post attracted complaints from users disliking the refreshed layout. The new-look site was critically acclaimed and nominated by the Design Museum as one of their designs of the year in 2012.